Sammy Watkins calling out his Baltimore teammates, and specifically the pass catchers. I've got the quote right here. Everybody wasn't getting open. It takes guys getting open to be great and look great and be the Patrick Mahomeses and the Tom Brady's of the world. He's talking about how the Baltimore Ravens pass catchers need to get open for Lamar Jackson to be a great passer. Dumb or smart, Sammy Watkins walking in day one with a flamethrower.
The theory of what Sammy Watkins is doing is smart. The person who is doing it is not. If Julio Jones was traded to the Ravens and started dropping those, started saying that, like in that room, I would be like, oh my God, like I better get my S together. Julio Jones, one of the best receivers in the game. Like I'm going to listen to him. But when it's coming from Sammy Watkins, it's going to be like, who the F are you? What? You might not even make the cut, bro. Like, who are you talking to me? Like if I showed up at Augusta tomorrow and I'm wearing a white belt and I'm trying to tell Sergio Garcia how to hit the fade, I think Sergio would look at me and be like, shut up, bro. Like, I'm not listening to you. And I think that that's what's going to be happening with Sammy Watkins. Stop it, Sammy. I don't know. Like, God bless Sammy Watkins for thinking that he has that kind of juice to walk into a locker room and start just throwing that around.
I actually like Sammy Watkins as a role player. I really do. And I think it's a good fit. I like what they're doing there with Baltimore, signing Sammy Watkins to a low-risk, low-money deal. And I think it was a good move. I think it was a good move for both sides, quite honestly. Sammy Watkins goes to a very high-profile team, keeps his name in the mix. And he's still a relatively young man. He signed a 1-year deal. So, he's going to be looking at free agency in the very near future once again. And he wants to stay relevant, and signing with Baltimore, I think makes a whole hell of a lot of sense for Sammy Watkins. I think it made a whole hell of a lot of sense for Baltimore. But my man, Sammy, my dude, what are you doing, bro? It's day one. It's day one. Like, can we at least get a couple training camp sessions in? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, my dude, Sammy Watkins has one career 1,000-yard season. One. And this is despite playing in a Sean McVay offense. This is despite playing with Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid for 3 seasons. My dude's got a 1,000-yard season. Guy, what are you doing? If we're to compare resumes, Sammy Watkins or Michael Crabtree.
Yeah.
It's Michael. I think it might be Michael Crabtree, quite honestly.
Like as an overall receiver?
As an overall, yeah. I mean, that's the level that we're talking about here. Like a Michael Crabtree type of, I actually played for Baltimore too, which is funny, but we're talking about that level of receiver coming in and just laying waste to guys like Hollywood Brown. I don't want to make it seem like Hollywood Brown had a good season. He did not.
Right.
He
wasn't bad.
And said,
what does our guy Harmon say about this?
I think he says that Hollywood suffered from a lot of drops. And Harmon never in reception, go to reception.com.
Drops don't matter.
Drops don't matter.
That's my favorite Harmonism.
Drops do not matter. And he is absolutely a zealot when it comes to saying drops do not matter. And I am of slightly different ilk. I think drops do matter, and Hollywood had a lot of bad drops. So did Mark Andrews, by the way. Mark Andrews had a lot of bad drops, too. I think it's not a smart move. I think it's a dumb move by Sammy Watkins to come through and just drop hammers on people.
It is crazy. I think he did turn him around, but when you brought up Crabtree, it just reminds me of, and I think that as I watch Jim Harbaugh in Michigan, and I'm a big Jim Harbaugh guy, I like him, but I still look back at that Super Bowl against the Ravens, and I'm like, how the F do you just not, I would do if, I know it's a Madden, I know we love Madden, if you're near the goal line, I don't know how you're not dialing up for, whatever, Colin, just go win us the football game, please. If you think throwing it to Crabtree is the way to go, which is fine, and I don't know, I just think that having, it just irritates me some more. And my wife's like sort of a 49ers fan, and I was sitting in that end zone of the Super Bowl, and I'm like, dude, they're gonna like Colin Kaepernick. It's gonna run this ball in right now. I'm like, why is the first time you're like, why is he throwing this? The
Right.
second time, why is he throwing this?
Right.
Why is he throwing this?
Just run it, my guy. Just run it, my guy.
Frank Gore was on that team too. You know what though? The whole reason I think about that, because I think of I'm going off rundown here. I just think
okay.
of Michael Crabtree has been one of my favorite. I just love the way Michael Crabtree plays, and I think that if he had that a Super Bowl win, that
Right.
he would have had a little bit more like people would.
Oh, it changes the narrative totally.
So much.
I mean, it's sad. Like you know him for the chain pulls now, which is really sad.